Hey everybody, what's going on? This is David Pendleton, and we're going to get a rookie walkthrough for the Cursed Swamp 9-hole cup. Now this walkthrough will be for some advanced rookie clubs. I'll do my beginner rookie probably later on today, or maybe tomorrow. But in this walkthrough, you're going to see like a lot of really good content because this course has the sunshine glades in it, which I'm really good at. Anytime we get a tournament that has these particular holes in it, I'm normally at the very top of the standings, and I always have a lot of good info to share with you. So, please do me a couple favors, everybody. Please subscribe. I'm getting really close to 1,500 subscribers. I can't even believe we're talking about a number like that. That is freaking awesome. So I appreciate everybody who's already a subscriber. And please take a half a second to hit the like button. That means a lot for a YouTuber like myself. So subscribe, hit the like button, and let's roll into this. Minus 16. You can see the scorecard here. I do believe that albatross on hole number 6 can be duplicated because I have 2 rookie accounts and I hit it on both accounts. And I'm going to show you, what that looks like. So let's just go ahead and just dive, right into the replays here. Try to save a little bit of time today for everybody. So we're going to start off on hole number 1. Now, hole number 1, you have to get an eagle on if you're going to win this tournament. It's a must eagle. It's a very simple eagle. And all we're going to do is use a kingmaker here. Now, you can do this with any ball. So you don't think you have to use a kingmaker if you don't want to waste one. You can do it with the katana. Hell, you can do it with the navigator. You can do it with the marlin. Like, it's a very simple shot. I just use the kingmaker for the side spin and to reduce the wind since we're getting tailwind in this particular tournament. But 20% elevation. And you can see here I'm using full backspin with as much left side spin as possible. So with a kingmaker, 3 bars. I'm going to pull this one at medium distance of my driver. So not maximum. I'm using medium distance of my driver. And as you can see, 1/2 ball of left curl. You hit this ball perfect, and you're going to have no fear of going to the rough. Obviously, we hop the sand there with plenty of distance, and we get this thing to almost roll in for a hole-in-one. So you can rewind that shot and take a look at the landing position and take a look at the curl. And if you want to try to get a hole-in-one on it, which would be freaking awesome, you can do just a little bit more curl or maybe adjust your target a little bit more to the left than I did. And you could get that ball to drop. So picking up an eagle on a par 4, that's awesome. Picking up a hole-in-one, that's pretty freaking sweet. So, and I know with as many people who watch this video, there's going to be people in the comments who say they got the hole-in-one. It just happens every time. So good luck, everybody. And hopefully you're the lucky one. Now let's go into hole number 2. Hole number 2 is a hole that we typically have a hard time dialing in a hole-in-one. Because, normally they give us some type of like a weird crosswind, with like headwind or tailwind. Recently we had like a dead tailwind or headwind shot on this hole. But, this time we're getting a pretty much even crosswind, which we like. We're going to use a navigator because we don't need power. And we like the wind resistance of the navigator. And we're just going to play over the bunker at absolute minimum distance of our sniper. Now you're going to see here I applied a little bit of backspin. And again, this is 20% elevation. I'm using minimum distance numbers of my sniper. I used about 1 bar of backspin on this particular shot. This was my second attempt at the hole. The first time I did 2 bars of backspin and I came up too short. And I'm still coming up short. We may need to add about 1/4 of a bar of top spin, or maybe just go with absolutely no backspin, period. Either way, I think 1/4 of a bar top spin is going to get us a lot closer to the hole for the hole-in-one. I'm not counting on this one. It's great if you get the drop, but we have so many other drops that we can get that this one's going to become irrelevant, and we can still easily win a gold banner on this tournament. Hole number 3. Now, hole number 3 is going to be the same thing, okay? You don't have to use a kingmaker. You can go ahead and use a katana. You could easily use, a titan. It's just completely up to you. The reason that I'm using a kingmaker is because I want to reduce the wind as much as possible when it comes to the second shot. for the albatross opportunity, which we're very close to getting. So on the drive, we're going to go 10% elevation, full top spin with 2 bars of right side spin. And again, that 2 bars of right side spin, you can do that with a katana, you can do that with a titan, you can do that with a kingmaker, you could do that with a quasar. And it's not really that important on the drive. It's just what I used, and it's what I'm going to use in the final round just to be consistent, because we're very close to the albatross on shot number 2. So we hit this ball perfect, and I'm glad I hit almost every single ball perfect today, because I'm able to get this walkthrough out here fast, which is very important on a 9-hole cup. Now you're going to see here, I'm going to play this one minus elevation. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I tried to play this one 10% elevation on my first attempt at the hole today, and I was way off. So I changed it to minus 10%, and I want to pause here real quick. I want you to see where I'm aiming right here. So notice I'm aiming to the left-hand side of the pin. I'm still in the cup, but I'm favoring the left-hand side of the cup. Again, this is negative elevation, negative 10%. And we like the speed for sure. And, you know, I just burned the right edge of the cup there. So what we're going to do moving forward is I'm not going to mess around with the elevation anymore, okay? If this was a regular tournament and I had a couple more days to qualify, or if I had, you know, the next round to dial in a shot, I would end up changing the elevation on this shot just to get me more center to the cup. That's one trick you can do. But what I'm going to do is, instead of aiming right there, I'm going to move the end of my ball guideline on the outer edge of the left cup, of the left side of the cup. So I'm not going to be aiming in the cup anymore. I'm going to place the ball guideline with the exact same spin that I'm using here, but I'm going to have it touching the left edge of the cup and not in the cup. Okay, here is your screenshot for hole number 4, which you're going to see the replay here in just a second. I took this shot with, after spin, my ball guideline being directly in the middle of that dark green square, okay? And I put a black square around the square I want you to focus on. And this is with a Goliath. So again, after my spin adjustment, my ball guideline is pointing into halfway of that dark green square, and I missed this shot by about a half of a green square to the right. I'm playing it with a navigator at absolutely no elevation, max distance of my Goliath. Notice the 2 bars of top spin and 1 bar of left side spin, and there I am aiming directly in the middle of that dark green row. Hopefully you can see that. We love the speed, so we know the spin is correct with the 2 top spin. We just need to move our target over a little bit to the left. So what I'm going to do in the next round is I'm going to put the end of that ball guideline right there just more onto the left-hand side of that dark green square, and see if we can get, you know, ourselves a lucky hole-in-one. Again, shot a minus 16 without getting this hole-in-one, so if we get this one next round, we'll take that as an absolute bonus. Now, hole number 5, this is the one where, you know, I really want you to pay attention to, because if we get the eagle on this one, which we will as long as we hit a perfect ball, it's a pretty big advantage in this tournament, because a lot of people are going to lay up on the left-hand side, or a lot of people are going to try to go from fairway to green, which could cause you to roll into the backhand rough, or even the sand, depending on, you know, how much speed you get once you touch off on that fairway to the green. I'm going to roll through the rough, and this is a shot that I took in a tournament a long time ago, and it ended up working very nicely for me. So What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a berserker, okay? And the only reason I'm using a berserker is just because of the distance it gives me on my initial target. You can do this shot with a Kingmaker, you could do it with a Katana, you could do it with a Titan. So depending on what your ball situation is like, is completely up to you. But if you use a power 3 ball or less, you'll probably have to use overpower on the drive. And that is what I'm trying to avoid. That's why I'm using a berserker. But I'll show you what we're doing here. As you can see, I got 1 bar of top spin and 2 bars of right side spin. I'm making sure my second bounce, so I want to make absolute sure of 2 things. One, that I left myself room for a great shot. As you can see, I put my yellow target ring up on the rough line. And then I'm making sure my second bounce is in the rough by that tree. I don't want the second bounce being on the fairway because then I could roll too far past the green into the rough. So basically, I'm just trying to go to fairway and then roll out of the rough onto the green. What I like about a berserker on this shot is I don't have to use any overpower, and I just apply a little bit of right curl to help get our ball closer to the green or onto the green. But as you can see there, we roll out, we land onto the fringe, and that's obviously a very simple shot to pick up a huge eagle in this tournament. Now this hole I'm really excited about. So I'm going to be using a Titan ball on this hole. And the reason I'm using a Titan here over a Kingmaker is because I am attempting to go from fairway to fairway. If I were to use a Kingmaker with tailwind, I would get less wind. In this situation, I want more wind, but I also need power, so a Titan is the best ball for this. 10% elevation, and again, I'm just making sure that I go from fairway onto the rough and then roll out onto the next fairway. This is a pretty straightforward shot, okay, with using maximum top spin and 1 bar of left side spin. And again, 10% elevation on the pool, but then I want you to push back up to max. That way you get your full distance of the drive back. And we can do that because we have plenty of fairway to work with. I'm using just a baby amount of overpower, so not a lot of overpower whatsoever. As you can see, we clip the rough and then we roll out onto the next part of the fairway. So that's great. That's ideal, okay? Even if you mess up this drive, you're still going to get to the green in 2. So you're still going to eagle the hole. Now, with the Albatross on this drive, we're going to be using a rough bump with our Goliath at 0% elevation. So I really just applied top spin and right spin until I was, aiming at the hole. I can put it right into the hole because we're getting 4-mile-an-hour tailwind. So that means as soon as our ball touches down, we're going to get a pretty nice push from the wind anyway, so I don't have to apply a whole lot of top spin because I don't want to come in too fast and hit the pin and bounce out. So you can see there, you get that camera angle, you're good to go, and that's dead center. So there's Albatross number 1. Now here's Albatross number 2. Now here's the biggest difference when it came to this one, is I ended up driving this ball over 400 yards. With the same extra mile. The reason that happened is because I hit a perfect ball on this account and I did not hit the rough and roll out of the rough onto the fairway. I went from fairway to fairway, which got me a lot more speed and a lot more distance. But, you can't ask for a better opportunity than to have an Albatross opportunity with your Thorn, because from here, I'm just going to check the distance of my club, and I played this one between minimum and max. Between medium and max. So for example, if I was supposed to pull this one, 1.5 rings at mid distance, but max was 1.9, I just played it directly in the middle and would do 1.7. But, backspin, little bit of backspin, aim the ball directly at the hole, pull it with no elevation. You got to love the wind that we're getting. We're getting almost dead tailwind when going for an Albatross shot. Pretty much as long as you pull your elevation and your rings right and you hit a perfect ball, this ball's going to go in the cup unless you do something wrong. But you can see here, we sneak it in, we hit the center of the pin, and we drop it in for another albatross. So, maybe watch that hole a couple times because that one's really important and super crucial when it comes to winning this tournament. All right. I'm going to show you here 2 ways you can attack this hole. And the first way I wanted to do it was with a navigator because I wanted to reduce the wind as much as possible, but I wasn't able to take that shot with my sniper. So I had to switch to a Marlin. And I'm playing this one 10%, going for a sniper rough bump. You can see here I'm using no side spin with 3 bars of top spin. And because we're getting, so notice that because we're getting headwind, meaning the wind is blowing at us, I put my ball guideline through the cup and past the pin. That way the wind doesn't knock us down and leave us short whenever we take our shot. So 10% elevation, fast forward here for time, we hit a perfect ball, we easily clip the rough, the speed is phenomenal. Okay, so what do we learn from this shot? We learned that whenever our ball hits the rough and the way the green slopes, it pushes us to the left. So we can try to add a bar of right side spin, or if you want to play this shot, you can try to just offset your club to the right of the cup. If it were me, and I chose to play this shot because you like the sniper better, I would offset my ball guideline to be outside of the cup, not even touching the cup, about a quarter of a green square. That's where I would start. But I'm going to play it this way moving on because, again, it's a 9-hole cup. I'm trying to get the biggest advantage possible. I like the Goliath rough bump with a Kingmaker better. Kingmaker just knocks down the wind. As you can see here, I'm going to play this one between medium and maximum distance of my Goliath. It's a very small number when you're talking about elevation when it comes to your ring pull with your Goliath. I like that as well. I only played this 1 ring. Hit another perfect ball. Speed is good on this one as well. And this time we just burn the right edge of the cup. So I'm going to just put my ball guideline through the cup again, inside the cup, left side of the pin, and hopefully hit perfect, for a hole-in-one in the finals. Now, hole number 8 is going to be important. I'm going to show you only one way to play it, and it's going to be super aggressive because we're going to try to drive the green. If you pull off this shot, you're going to be, again, a huge advantage because a lot of people will not eagle this hole. But this is the route that I go every tournament, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. The only problem with this shot is if you hit a great shot, you're going to have a very difficult time picking up the eagle. You're still going to birdie it no matter what. That's what I like. So this is high risk, high reward, where you're not going to end up in the water. So it's not like you're going to lose a shot. So this is what I like. And, use a Titan ball on this particular shot, 10%. At max distance of your club, I'm putting my bullseye right there in the very small fairway. And then, of course, we're praying for a perfect ball. And the other thing I want you to do is I want you to pull over the bullseye because that's going to keep you from your rings being distorted. So whenever your rings dip into the sand, they become distorted, they become larger, and that can throw off your adjustment by quite a bit. If you pull over the bullseye, like I'm going to show you right here, you'll avoid that in this situation. Not in every situation, but because this is only a 2-ring pull, I can avoid doing that. All right, perfect ball, fast forward, boom, boom, okay, and we roll through, and obviously that's a very simple chip in for the eagle. Now, if you have a berserker, you can go ahead and play with the berserker. I don't have any berserkers on this account, but I have this ball from way back in the day, which is it's almost just like a berserker. It's a power 5 ball, but it's a wind resistance 3, so it just, it brings down the wind a little bit. But no big deal. You can play this with the berserker, and I like the berserker shot better because I can apply, top spin with, 1 bar of right side spin. And here, I'm just trying to visualize my ball not being too fast and rolling onto the green. Same thing, I pull over the bullseye. And then we hit a perfect ball, and check this one out. We almost get a hole in one here. So that ball comes in super smooth, right next to the cup, and you can't ask for an easier eagle than to drive the green on a par 4 and be right next to the cup. And we can do that on hole 1, hole 5, and hole 8. So if you execute those 3 shots, you're minus 15. Okay, very last hole, everybody. This is another very good opportunity for an albatross. If you're finding this helpful and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please hit the thumbs up. And if you're a generous person and you're able to donate to support my channel and my time, I always put a link to my PayPal in the comment section. I know this is just a little 9-hole cup, so donations may be a little bit smaller, but anything counts, and I really appreciate any support you all can give me. Okay, 10% elevation. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to use 1 bar of backspin because I don't want my ball to go too far into the rough. And it wouldn't matter if you rolled into the rough because you would still easily get to the green in 2. But we want to play this one for the albatross opportunity. So 1 bar of backspin at 10% elevation. You fire off a perfect ball. And this is where you land. Really easy. So no fear of going into the rough, okay? Shot number 2, 0% elevation, everybody, and absolute minimum distance of your sniper. All I want you to do is very simple. I want you to play with 5 bars of backspin with no side spin. I want you to put your ball guideline directly into the cup. Again, pull at no elevation, at minimum distance of your sniper. Perfect ball, and you'll see where we end up going on this hole. The speed is phenomenal. It's good. We just missed to the right-hand side, so you just need to offset your ball guideline to the left. 5 bars of backspin, have your ball guideline touching inside the cup, but the very left-hand side of the cup. And that's going to get you really close to an albatross. That's it, everybody. There's a walkthrough. I know that if you execute hole 1, hole 5, hole 8, you're going to be putting yourself right in the nuts for a gold banner. Let me know how you do. Good luck, everybody.